Hey, Snoop, JT, what's that there? Another date, another date. Hey, guy, what's happening, bro? Going down. Man, this show started. Yeah. Late as usual. Late as usual. Hey, the dude, man. Let's go. Shocking and rocking. Rocking this shocking. Man, dealing with this damn. I have to get rid of the cages, man, because like, damn rabbit in the yard running in and out. Can't catch it. Can't catch the damn rabbit. You gonna get them though. Silly rabbit. Oh man. I got I done tried every day, so now I got to get the cage. Sean. Hey, Sean, get over here for me, bro. Go. What you doing? Right, right. Sit down. Right. Lay down. Lay down. Yeah. Lay. Sean, lay down. Y'all in the way. In the way, yo. Hey, yo. Without further ado, let's go. Let's go. Late, no, it don't matter. Let's go. Yeah. Salute to the morning PT Warriors, man. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, dudes, man. You know what it is. Let's go. You know, consistency is so simple in the word, but the actions that follow confuse that verse. I promise you, anything you do, consistent. You get better at it. Yeah. Anything you do consistently, you'll get better at it. You got that same hole in the couch. Woo! That bad boy gonna hold you down. Yeah, man. Yeah, you know, water's real. Crazy, man. Be 100% positive, you know, stuff right there ain't cool. Ain't cool. I got Mikey with that. Yeah, wait. Over here. Thick, thicker. I got Mikey. Good girl. Good girl. Hey, yo, you must let your dogs run your life. See, the thing with me and my dogs, we are packed. We move together. We think together. I can tell my dogs to get down, they gonna get down. Sean, come here. Come here. Sean, speak. Get up there. Go. Get up there. Go. We a pack. We a pack. Here. Here. Yeah. And I'm now. I'm now. Warrior in the guard. Warrior in the guard. I'm out. And we are back. When you see me, you see them. Real talk. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you. Yeah, they my pets. That's all they are. But we are back. Ain't no more nothing. Ain't no more nothing. Yeah. Real talk. Yeah. Yeah, I'm different with it. I go against the grain. I'm different, not saying I can do it something everybody else can. But what I am saying is I'm different with it when it comes to these dogs. The way I live, the way I move. We a pack. I might keep like that. And the more I learn about humans, the more I love my dogs. Mark Twain. The more I learn about people, the more I love my dogs. Mark Twain. Oh, what the weirdos out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what the weirdos out there, man. People like that, they do who just made your comments. Y'all need to be checking out here for being a pedophile or something like that. You don't make comments like that on a regular basis. That's crazy. That's crazy. They're the ones that y'all need to be looking at. The ones that come through and say stuff like that. Guarantee you he out there messing. He a pedo. You know what I'm saying? Weirdos, man. And they do this on a regular basis. I don't know why. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? It's overlooked. Hey, what's happening, man? But when you see weirdos like that, they just come by and just say some old weird stuff like that. I mean, I guarantee you, he's so dangerous to them kids and everybody else, man. Crazy. I go against the grain. What? The community says. Go against the grain. What the book says. For my education that was passed down and the experience that I've learned by sincerely putting in the work, being a keen observationist since I was about 6 years old. So when you see with my dogs, who is the pack? They say you can't do this and you can't do that. That's fine. If you want to draw the line, that's fine. You want to outline. But I'm always going to say, hey, don't let nobody tell you what you can and can't do when you the one putting in the work. You call it what it is, man. Me and my dogs will get back. We're back. Yeah. True story. You see it. A lot of people don't have the patience when it comes together with these dogs. Keeping it 100. They want what they want. And they want it now. It's my, what was it, JP Whitworth? It's my money and I want it now. JP Whitworth, 87779. Yeah, nah. Come to the dogs, people want what they want it now. One space. Yeah, you gotta have patience. Me personally, I Hell, I can do anything I want to. Any dog that come from my hands and come my way, the kid that I can train. Is every dog worth it? Said, oh, easy dog. I can't say this. Now, hey, you do your due diligence. You just, you consistent. You can do anything you want to. Only thing that you need to worry about is time. Where do you spend? Where do you spend? Where is it wasted at? Period. A lot of people have told me what I can and can't do with these dogs. You know how many people try to paint you or put you in a box in life? In life, only thing I can say is as long as you have a direction, you have laid out your goals, then that's all you need to worry about. And collecting whatever jewels you can use to help you obtain that goal. The ones that I see be falling short, ones that I see especially all over the place, are the ones that, how can I say, are the ones that they have no real goals. Or their goal is merely to be part of a group. You know what I'm saying? To be part of a group. And if your goal is to be initiated with a group, you better be a good follower, a great follower. Because whatever group you think to follow, they must be millionaires or going in a strong direction of positivity. Because they'll be the ones that go out and try to handle stuff for everybody else, try to fit in, and all that other stuff. But the ones that have goals, that have a certain level of ambition that is moving them in a certain direction of positivity or progress. Those are the ones that make the most out of their shortcomings. Those are the ones that are consistently trying to or attempting to achieve that. But the ones that don't have a direction, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. The ones that floating around are, dangerous, man. So you're a product of your surroundings. You are what you eat. Finding that direction. It takes out a lot of the BS, man. A lot of the BS. Because the ones that are not goal driven, pick up the most dust, cause the most drama in anybody's life because misery loves company. So those be the ones that try to distract you from your goal, from your direction, because misery loves company. So while I'm sitting there rambling and running my mouth, when you take the time and you either write your goals down. How many of us have literally written our goals down? I'm not a vision board type of person, but how many of us have created a vision board? How many of us have mapped out the direction that we need to go? See, because when you have these fools that blatantly be on something else, there's no direction in that. You know, how many of us have mapped out our year? How many of us mapped out our day on a regular basis? You know, it's like a lot of things come into play when you start focusing on yourself. You don't have time. You don't have time to get involved in all the BS. You don't have time. Because the only thing you doing, you so focused on the progress and the process, it takes energy to waste it on stuff like that. True story, man. But salute to the morning PT warriors, man. Salute to everybody who caught in that struggle. Because just because you write down your goals or you have a vision board doesn't mean that everything comes into play. But that's your first step of separation. That's your first step of focusing on the direction. Because a lot of us don't have a direction. You just talking. It's just a topic of conversation. Like being in that, watching that movie, getting that momentum in the middle of the movie. When that conversation over with, you go back to your natural routine. Hey, salute, Steve. What's happening? Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Ooh. Yeah. True story, man. True story. How many of us have even taken the time to map out our week, our year, our month? Man. Yeah. Okay, so as far as me being sore every day, yes and no. If I do my workout properly and I go through the motion, doing the exact same thing every day, I feel sore. But if I'm just coasting through it like it's nothing, that means I need to up it a rep, you know? But yeah, for the most part. And that's the crazy thing about it, you know? And I look for that sources every day because I know it's growth. You know, I think staying on the incline as far as your progress, always pushing up the hill or pushing up the mountain, um, is the easiest part of the process. I think the hard part is the easiest part of the process. Losing the weight or building the muscle, I think that is the easiest part of the process. Yeah, me too, bro. And you know what it is, and you know how it feels, Steve. You know what I'm saying? And we we got that understanding. But losing the weight, gaining the muscle, getting your wind up, even though it's hard and it drags you and you gotta pull, it takes a lot out of you to get there. That's the easy part. The hardest part of anything is the maintenance of it. It's the maintenance of it because the maintenance not only is physical, but it's more mental than anything else. It's more mental than anything else because you can be coasted and think that everything is all good and then you slowly start slipping because you were stuck in the maintenance mode. So for those that are in this for the long haul, and yeah, it's a marathon. Yes, it's a marathon, but you kind of want to always keep yourself on an incline, climbing a hill, climbing a mountain as far as your goal perspective. And it's not leaps and bounds. You move it. It's a game of inches. It's a game of inches. And as you progress and as you go on, you should be able to increase whatever you are doing within the calisthenics or cardio world. Yeah. Yeah, you got, and it's like I think where we cut ourselves short is we try to go too hard sometimes when we should just be inching our way forward. Because if you're looking at it from a lifelong perspective and you're not competing, then and you're not competing, it should be a game of inches. When we try to do those leaps and bounds, man, injury prone, all types of stuff, gas yourself out and everything. But knowing that it's an uphill battle, knowing that you got to keep climbing that hill till the hill turns into a mountain. And when that hill turns into a mountain, then you got to spread your wing and you got to fly. It's just, one of them type of deals. But we get caught up in these situations where we consistently cut ourselves short because we reached the point that we wanted to hit. You hit your goal. You know what? I'm gonna do breakfast, man. Hey, you know what I'm saying? What's happening? What's going down? Look, hey, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I find that a lot of us, we have that goal or we set those goals. And as soon as we set those goals and we hit that goal, that's when it turned all bad because you did it. Let's celebrate. Let's do this. Let's do that. You know what I'm saying? Let's go on and, and then you start to fall off. It's a consistent thing, So if you can take the time and understand that, okay, if I'm not competing, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So if the goal is to do this forever, if the goal is to be able to do it forever, then at the end of the day, you have to have a certain mindset of how you're going to approach it. You have to have a certain mindset of how you're going to approach it. What's going to be, like I was saying yesterday, check this out. Chuck, over here. No. Sit. Sit. Sit down. Damn, she be tripping lady. These last couple of weeks, Michonne been tripping. You gotta forgive her, man. But anyway, like I was saying, so this is the deal. Hour and a half of burpees, hour and a half burpees. You know, yeah, for sure. So let's look at it like this, and let's be 1,000% transparent. Started over. So hour and a half burpees. I'm gonna be switching it up as I go, and so on and so forth, man. So you're 20 years old, and I want you to look at it like this. If you were a 20 years old and you could think about yourself moving through the ranks. You got two, matter of fact, you got two 20-year-olds. You got one 20-year-old that's doing push-ups and one hitting the bench. And we're just using these one exercises, which really don't count for nothing. It's kind of one-dimensional, one side, whatever you want to call it. But this 120-year-old is working to get the max on his bench. And he wants to be powerful for the rest of his life. Then you have this other 20-year-old who's doing push-ups and just wants to up his push-up count for the rest of his life, right? Or he wants to get you doing 100 push-ups a day. I mean, not a day, a set. Sean, hey, you ready to win. Get up there. Go. Up. Get up there. Sean. Get up there. Sean, go. Yeah, my bad. But he does 100 push-ups per set, and the other 20-year-old is working on his back. Right now, his mindset is set on 405. Let's say he gets to that 405 by the time he hits 35, 33, whatever. You know, he's been working and had to figure his way out to get up to 33. The other one who was doing push-ups, who was doing 100 a set, is now doing 150 a set at 33, 35. You know what I'm saying? And maintaining. Now, question. Do you think that 20-year-old who's now 33 at the max of his bench at 405 is going to be able to maintain that power and that strength for the rest of his life? Right? But the other 20-year-old, same age in his 30s, has increased, not only has increased his push-ups, but he'll be able to maintain that as long as he continues to do them. So when you think about it, as time progresses, you won't be able to power lift and hold that same power. The same thing that'll make you laugh or make you cry. The same thing that built you up will start breaking you down. The same thing that built you up will start breaking you down. Right? You know what I'm saying? Last step. But we don't think about that like that because we caught in the moment. And the doctrine is already set. The tradition is already set. The capitalism is already set. The storytelling, the narrative is already pushed. The same thing that'll make you laugh will make you cry. That same thing that you use to build you up will start breaking you down. Right? So, Speaking of, uh, certain things that you can take to the next level and continue to progress in. When you start to measure these things out, what approach would you do? If I told you, hey, I need you to go out here and I need you to aggressively invest, which is a thing. And I'm not talking about finances because it can be taken out of context and I can be proven completely wrong on so many different levels. But check this out. Let's just say we switched the tables and I told you, hey, we're going to invest now. And I need you to aggressively invest from the time you in your 20s till you in your 30s. And I need you to invest in stuff where you either win tremendously big, huge, or you lose everything every time. And you have somebody else that I tell you, hey, you're gonna be conservative. You're in this for the long haul, and you're gonna slowly get your way up. You're gonna slowly, consistently invest. How you invest is gonna continue to progress, and you will not decline, but you don't make as much. You're not gonna receive as much. The thrill of the one that's investing, going headed, gambling, everything, the thrill, the times, everything, the brag and everything, it all, it hit. You feel what I'm saying? You have fun. But then, once it's gone, once you done fell off, you can't get back. It's your health. It's your health. It's your health. Because you gambled so many times. You pushed it. You went hard so many times. And it was a risk that you took. The injuries, everything that come along with it. You understand? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And it's so much to it. Now, just because I'm leaning on the calisthenics doesn't mean you can't do the same thing in the weight room, because you can. But, it's the mindset and how we approach it. But you got the one who was conservative inching his way up. How many losses? He took little to no losses, and the losses that he took was so minimum, didn't mean anything. And the other one who was aggressively gambling might have taken major injuries, so on and so forth. And, now it's time to actually start living. And the one that took their time and did the conservative investment, slowly inch their way up. Now starting to see, what do you say? Compound interest. The one that went extra hard doesn't have anything to stand on because everything was a gamble. So, as young men, even going into, and it's still a mentality because it's not just the young men, it's a mentality thing. If you trying to do this for the long haul, if you want the healthiest version of you, if that's what you want. Some of us just want to get healthy, just period. A certain level of health. If you want the healthiest version of you, or whatever the case may be, it's not an overnight thing. You understand? It's not you go get the most powerful as you can be, and that's a healthy version of you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, and then when you start thinking about the long haul of things, instead of trying to go with the norms and start paying attention to, um, like I say, man, you always want to look forward and not back. Because the things that you did in your 20s, you're not going to be able to do in your 30s, especially if you don't take care of your body. So you won't be able to do your max or whatever the weight is. I don't care. Pick a weight, legs, whatever. You won't be able to do your max that you was doing in your 20s and 30s, in your 40s and 60s. But if you was doing, you know, push-ups, whatever, I can guarantee you, if you stay consistent with it, whatever you was doing in your 20s, you should be able to do in your 60s. And I can prove it on a multitude of levels. I can show it, you know. But you know, a lot of us get caught up in the glitz and glamour or whatever you want to call it, man. The story is told, the narrative is sold. Story is told, narrative is sold. People see folks and they assume, you know, and assumptions can go left or right, wherever you want to put it. But I can promise you, man, when you start looking at things from afar, man, you gonna want to take the best care of your body. And things are easy in your youth, but the value of health, yeah, I spent, bro. I think I don't know. I think if I'm correct, no, might be him or somebody else, but it's a couple of them. It's a couple of them. I follow a lot of, and you know, and I stress that too. I have stressed that too, man. It's a lot of content creators when it comes to doing calisthenics or just working out, period. I only really follow people that are older than me. I'm 44. So if if I'm following somebody that's doing something that I want to do, I'm looking ahead because they can do that at that age. Then obviously it's a motion that is a good motion. I'll put it like this. When I was in my teens, I used to do oh, that's what's up. Oh, that's what's up, Steve. Remember that. You know, I used to do chip my shoulder throws kind of like this. And I did that for like a whole year. And I was doing it wrong. And what I was doing was I was grinding my joints because I was doing it improper. Now, you continue doing something like that the improper way, I guarantee you limiting yourself and creating a whole world of trouble in your 30s from simply going about doing a exercise or a movement incorrectly. But you can do it naturally because it's easy for you. It's easy for you. But you can look at somebody in their 30s, they're not doing those movements, but they in better shape than you. What are they doing that you're not? And what are they doing that you are doing? Whatever they're doing that you are doing, you can do that. And whatever they doing that you're not doing, you know what I'm saying? So, and you want to grab like 5, 6, 7 people like that you can follow if you're trying to find a path or just get some understanding of it. Always look 10 years ahead of you. If I'm I'm in my 40s, what it look like me trying to get be, say I want to be in the same shape I was in my 20s. To me, that makes no sense. Because I could never be in the shape I had the movement that I did in my 20s. But who knows? I I could be in better health than I ever was in my 20s. You know, it's just one of them things, man. It's one of those things. Yeah, but we don't think a long haul. We think of comparing ourselves to other people, asking somebody what their bench is, what their squat is, so on and so forth. Um, I can tell you this: no matter what the number is, or whatever it is, that does not mean that you're healthy. That doesn't mean that, you know, doesn't mean any of that. I can show you somebody right now, got as big as this, big as a house, walk in the gym and throw five something on the bench and just throw it up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, yep, yeah, yeah, and that's the thing, like, yep, both y'all on that thing, and that's what I'm saying. We all have our path. And that you're like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people sit up there and think just because, you know, that's a bragging point of how much you can live in, and so on and so forth, man. And like the next person might not even be like that, might you know what I'm saying? You talking to somebody who like strictly watch football, and you talking about cricket. You know what I'm saying? You talking about something so foreign to them that has no concern. And it's like we all have different directions. And now, with the majority of us, it's our vulnerability, man. It's our vulnerability. Play on it. Because all you got to do is try to be. It's a game of inches. If you can be or do better than what you did yesterday and continue that routine, you own to something. You own to something. If you looking at somebody else and your goal to be better than them or do what they do better than them, you might be cutting yourself short. You might be cutting yourself short. You might be running from them demons in your closet. You might need to take that person that you was trying to compete against to be better than and put that and go look in the mirror. You understand? And that's and I like I I told the story the other day or a week ago or so. David Goggins set the pull-up record like 10 years ago, 7, 8 years. I don't know. It's been a minute ago. He broke that pull-up record. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, like, uh, time effect, time effect is just one. You know what I'm saying? He's just one. Like it's so many people. And then when you start understanding how much of a gold mine your health is as you get up in age, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where it's at. But David Goggins broke the pull-up record. And after he broke the pull-up record, it was 3 or 4 other people after the fact that broke the pull-up record, his pull-up record. And someone broke that pull-up record, and someone broke that pull-up, and so on and so forth. Right? But then you got this 18-year-old kid, and yeah. And you got this 18-year-old kid, and this is like 2 weeks ago, a week ago, they goes and smashes that record. And David Goggins was nowhere on his mind. He said he got into it to the pull-ups because he was working out with his homeboy and he couldn't keep up. So he wanted to make pull-ups his main focus just because he wanted to get stronger in pull-ups. And then he just walked into the, set the record. But if he was trying to compare himself to David Goggins, he wouldn't have broke the pull-up record. He would have just broke David Goggins' record. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you supposed to be on the moon. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you supposed to be on the moon, and you limit yourself to the sky. You limit yourself to the cloud height because you think the clouds is where you're supposed to be. Because you think the clouds is where you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? When we start trying to compare ourselves to other folks, you might be limiting your progress. If somebody was trying to compare themselves to me and say, I'm going to keep up with him or I'm going to outdo him, I might be holding you back. You know what I'm saying? I might be holding you back. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Straight up. But because it's so much BS, fruitless, lustful, envious, wasted time, and no good competition. And this not beneficial, it's artificial. So if you're gonna compete and you're gonna get in that realm and compete, go to the arena. Go to the real arena. Make it count. Go amongst those that are on the same time and reaching for that level. Otherwise, just you doing it, the same thing that'll make you laugh or make you cry. So if you're not willing to get into an arena, whatever it is that you're into, then why compete against other folks? When all you got to do is look at the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror, the person in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? It's like me being an amateur boxer, which I am not and never have been. So, but I'm just saying, if I was an amateur boxer, you know what I'm saying? And I'm feeling myself. And I walk around the street trying to start fights with folks. that are, you know what I'm saying, minding their business or whatever. I'm out of line. I'm going around trying to start stuff in places that it ain't called for, right? But it's a whole place for that. And people will be looking for me, calling my name. Hey, let me look at you. Let me see you. Come on, let's get, you know what I'm saying? So approaching that same direction with your physical education and the way you want to go means everything. Because if you're going to compete, compete. But if not, man, keep the sword short. Just work on yourself. It's you versus you. There's no telling where you can go with it. There's no telling where you can go with it. All you got to do is just worry about you. Now, by doing that, it really becomes a game of inches. It really becomes a game of inches. Your victories are within self. Then, if you was walking a mile a day this week, yeah, without a doubt. This, like, if I was walking a mile last month and I upped it to 1.25 miles this month, to somebody else, they like, whatever, man, I'm doing 6, 7, 8, 9 miles a day. If I look at them, I'm like, I'll never be able to do that, man. You know what I'm saying? Try to compare yourself in the whole nine, and we get into that. But little do you know, that 1/4 mile is like a big time level up. Because it's something that you weren't doing before. But if you're looking at these leaps and bounds, you know, you're in a marathon, man. So, you know what I'm saying? We learn till we deceased. And as you get older, your body is going to change. It's going to consistently change. Your metabolism is going to change. Your digestive system is going to change. The food that it can digest. Some of us aren't allergic to anything. But then as you progress, you get older in life, you become allergic to certain foods. And some of us that were allergic to foods, but then as you get older, you can eat those. Your body changes. As you get older, your body changes. And this is another reason why you should continue to learn your body as it gets older. As you get older, Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, the thing is, if you never knew your body back then, learning your body now is, it's a process. But if you were caught up in the realm playing on your vulnerability and you're approaching this as a competition, you try to jump in the loop and keep up with these other folks or do what these professionals are doing and so on and so forth. You missing out on the whole point of the long haul. Like, it's a reason why you see a lot of these professional basketball players with kids that want to play football, and they tell them, no, you can't play football. You play any other sport but football. You can't do that. Because they know the chances of you going pro will be slim. But versus you going to the following in their footsteps or doing something else, right? You'll be slim. The chances of you getting injured and carrying them injuries for the rest of your life is high. So if you know, if they, the parents, you know, you can see better. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's happening, Paul? You can see better as a parent or so on and so forth. And you know, it all becomes different when you start thinking in your offspring. And you know that if the chances of them getting injured, chances of them going pro, and so on and so on. Why? If we look at the long haul, nah, even now, and I was decent. I was decent at football. True story. I'm talking about like real good. But nonetheless has been uh man, true story. If I could go back and do it again, I would have played football. And it took me place. It took me place. I would not have played football. I wouldn't have the majority of injuries that I have today. You know? Yeah. It don't matter whether you think I'm lying or not. It don't matter. Either way it goes, I'm right here and not there. So obviously, I didn't go where I was intended to go with it. Obviously, I came up short. But yeah, here's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I did track and field. I did track and field. Yeah, definitely. I did cross country, but I ain't like it at all. I didn't like the long distance running at that point in time. I didn't see the purpose in it, you know. I did track and you know, I did that for a season. But I was decent. I was I was good enough to make the varsity team as far as basketball, but uh, I, I I had a okay shot. I could only dribble with my right as far as drive and stuff like that. I mean, I could switch, but I could only dribble with my right. It was I wasn't like basketball wasn't my thing, and I was so into football. I made the decision like, hey, I'm quitting all sports, just focusing on football. So in the off season, while everybody was doing all this other stuff, my junior and senior year, I had half a day of school, so I lived in the weight room. Lived in the weight room. You know what I'm saying? I went from my junior year, I was running a 4.38 in the 40, weighing 200 pounds each, 199, 198, 4.38 in the 40. My senior year, after living in the gym, hitting that iron, doing things the right and wrong way as far as diet in the direction. When I came back 230, solid all muscle, legs, tree trunk, but my 40 dropped. Yeah, but I was, I was lifting, I was lifting with grown men on base. I was lifting with grown men on base, active duty. Yes, yeah. I lived with grown men. And that's what kind of messed me up too, because they was going in a different direction. Me being young, wanting to, you know, I started fooling with them as far as weight room, strictly weight room, you know. But anyway, well, 200, you better stay up there. 230, you know, solid muscle. I ran 4.38. my junior year. My senior year at 230, I was running a 4.5, 4.52, putting on that 30 pounds. That was a big sign that I was going in the wrong direction and putting on too much weight. Legs like three trunks, the whole nine. And I got injured that year. You know what I'm saying? It was one of them lessons. They had me so upset with myself, with my coach, because my coach would always tell me, hey, put on some weight, man, put on a little more weight, put on a little more weight. I'm talking about I'm killing it at you. That's where I was at. And I was, for a whole year, did what he said. And it led me to injury. Body was heavier, slower, dragging. I still put in the work. I was full with it. But, those types of things happen. Did I stop? Nah. But it took the whole fire, the football out of me, even though college, I went on to college to play. I didn't have the same strength. I couldn't move the same after the first knee injury. And that's when things started where I had to go a different direction. That's really when I started accepting calisthenics. But nonetheless, man, yeah, been, hey, well, thinking of the long haul of things. And even and I need people to understand this also. Even if you want to jump into the realm of competition or reaching your peak, your height, even in the competition realm, a lot of the stuff that we choose to compete in has a limit. It has a height. I don't care, or it has a limited time frame for you to go as high as you can possibly go. Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Steve. You know what I'm saying? It has a certain limit, but not the limitation as to how you can go. Example, if you was a professional baseball, basketball, any professional sports player, you have a limited time as to how high you can go. Because you can't play forever. You cannot play forever when it comes to competition, of that realm. You can't max out forever. History has proved it time and time again. A lot of us let time pass us by before us recognizing our time is up on that level. So a lot of us try to move backwards by trying to meet that point where they was at in their 20s. Yeah, I'm saying, yeah. But like the thing with George Foreman was George Foreman never looked back. George Foreman always looked forward. George Foreman, when he fought, George Foreman wasn't the same George Foreman fighting Muhammad Ali, as he was the George Foreman walking to the ring eating after the fight, eating the burgers. He's not that same George Foreman. But each level He learned how to adjust his body. Overweight. Big Doug George Foreman knew how to stand there and jab. Knew how to stand there and stay in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? Young George Foreman will punch a hole through your heart. God damn, he punched a hole all the way through him. It went through. You know what I'm saying? Like Jordan wasn't jumping around the same way and moving the same way as the fadeaway Jordan. It's an adjustment. It's an adjustment. If Jordan was consistently trying to be at the level physically he was at when he came to the league, he wouldn't have been the Jordan he was. Knowing your body has to change, knowing you got to change with it. But even Jordan stayed in the league after his time. Even Jordan stayed in the league after his time. You know what I'm saying? So when you start thinking about these things, and you start thinking about the fruitless competition that you do amongst your friends, and those especially amongst your friends, especially amongst your friends and your loved ones, because most of us don't have that level of maturity. And when you start doing this stuff, like I said, if you were hang out with your boxing, you're going around and you're trying to compete with people that don't even box, right? Like you create something bad right there. Oh shit. Yeah, you create something bad right there, man. You know what I'm saying? That creates envy. It creates a whole bunch of jealousy and all of that stuff. These type of fruitless competitions, right? If you go do that and you know it's a certain time limit on how far and how high you can go with it, why would you want to waste there? Go compete for real. But if you're not willing to do none of that, why? You got to start going to the drawing board and think about, okay, what are these emotions that I'm doing? What am I chasing? What am I chasing? Because if I want to hit my peak, what's my age? What's the peak for my age? Or if I want to go as hard as I could possibly go, you better get started now while you have that window. But other than that, start looking towards the future. Everything doesn't have to be a rush. Everything doesn't have to be overnight. You know what I'm saying? We do all these things and expect recognition. Expect somebody to give us some type of recognition. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. When I tell you, nobody cares. Nobody cares about the progress that I got. Nobody cares. You know? And when you can start facing that and understanding, the ones that understand it, no, because you know, when you're young, you from the time you go to school, you concerned with groups and concerned with this and thought process with what people think. And as you start to get older, you start realizing. That's why I study a lot of senior citizens. You see them, they don't give a damn about nothing. Because the ones that care are right there. They're right there. Man, big bang. Big bang. You know what I'm saying? So, what are you competing for? You know what I'm saying? What are you bragging for? What is it about? If I was trying to win an argument with somebody that I didn't know right now, and I win the argument, what did I win? What did I win? Do I get a trophy for it? A pat on the back? Do I get to carry on the conversation to somebody else and tell them what I just told somebody else? To what end? You know what I'm saying? To what end do we do these? Do we do these things? From the physical competition to everything else. If you're gonna compete, if you're gonna go in that direction, then go get in the ring. Don't do it on a real level. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Go do it on a real level. You know what I'm saying? Because when you do these fruitless competitions, not only are you neglecting the time frame that you have with yourself on this earth, you wasting energy and you're not getting a trophy for it. You ain't getting a trophy for it. None of that. The same thing that'll make you laugh will make you cry. The same thing that builds you up can break you down. So don't go a long way the wrong way when it comes to work. In order. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Okay. All right, cool. I had to double check. Double check. Yeah. But it's cool. I got 42 minutes to go. I'm gonna go ahead and crank it up a little bit. But yeah, man. Gotta consider these things when we start picking the direction we're going there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you can take a lot of that out the equation of just focusing on the man in the mirror. Yeah, you can by focusing on the man in the mirror, a lot of that comes to pass. You don't, I mean, not comes to pass, but it's something you don't have to focus on. Yeah. Hey, Mike, check. Y'all can hear me though, right? Yeah. Man. But yeah, 40 minutes, 41 minutes to go on this little low mission, man. Yeah. Cool. Appreciate it, Terry. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. I just, for some reason, man, my whole life, I've always had a soft spot for the underdog, man. I've always had a soft spot for the have-not, the weakling of the bunch. You know, I've always had that soft spot for that one to neglect what the ugly does. You know, and I've always, I don't know, like I don't mind starting from behind the race. I don't mind starting everybody up there and I'm starting back here. You know, I don't mind starting with the ones that's struggling to get there, you know, around that area. Because the ones that find their way out the struggle, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. You know, the ones that find their way out the struggle, they're the ones I would love to just, you know, feel that energy, see that inspiration on a regular basis. We caught up in this realm where everything's a celebration. Everybody's at the top. Everybody's at the top. You know, I I'm not I'm not a fan. It doesn't feel good to be, you know, behind it. You know what I'm saying? And lacking. Uh, it just doesn't. But in some form, like I don't know, that's where I continue to find myself at. Like find myself, the confidence, the strength, the you know what I'm saying, the new skin, the new, you know what I'm saying, the new version is there. Is there. Like I can think of all my heights where I'm way up here, flying high, you know. Yeah, I'm looking forward and progress is good and I focus on the goal, but that that fight, that you know, I don't know, man. Uh I remember what's his name, man. What they call it, the top G. I forgot his name. Uh Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate say he was, you know, back when he was really relevant or whatever. He used to fight professional kickboxing or whatnot, right? And he was pretty decent during his time. I think he defended the championship belt twice. His championship belt twice. You know what I'm saying? But as time progressed, he stops fighting. Stops fighting. And he's on top of the world now. He's on top of his game. He's got money, however you want to say it, if he scam, whatever you want to call it. You understand? But what he says is, you know, ask him, are you gonna fight again? He's like, nah, I don't have that hunger. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that hunger. You know, when he was fighting, he said he was broke. He was broke, hungry. You know what I'm saying? It's a fire that's burning, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, internet, yeah. And it's a fire that's burning. But now it's got everything that he wants. You know, of course he's still trained, still do all this other stuff, but that want, that hungry, or whatever the fight isn't there. So we fast forward to earlier this year, and I don't know what bug he got. I don't know if he wanted to, detach racing too. That too. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you said that. But adding that to you. Appreciate it. But so I don't know what made him jump back out there, but it might have been him trying to get a piece of his youth, trying to get that fight back, that feel back. But earlier this year, he started training again, seriously, jump back in the ring. See what I'm talking about? Looking back instead of looking forward. So he jumped in the ring and he lost pretty bad to be who he was in the ring prior to. There's a lot of things that go into that. Age, the fact that you haven't really been in the mix in so long, the want and everything. But what I'm saying is, it's only certain times that you can get that hunger and that want, that push. You know, it's a certain feel, a certain drive, a certain level of loss, you know, and the ones that have that naturally and know how to keep that, your Kobe's and so on and so forth, is the superpower. But you show me a man that overcomes his hardest time, and I'll show you what kind of man that is. I'll show you what kind of man that is. You know, and the ones that are the biggest inspiration to me are the underdogs, the ones that came out the gutter, the ones that had some, lost it all, and figured out how to get it back. The ones that came from nothing and had to figure out a way. Those are the ones. Those are the ones. You know, as talented as Floyd Mayweather is, as talented, gifted, and the whole nine. This is no slight, no hate to Floyd. But Floyd grew up in this. No matter how hard the times were in the whole nine, Floyd had all the guidance genetically. You know, it's within the family. You know, hey, y'all was having genetically within the family. Now, Mike Tyson, on the other hand, grew on here, there, so on and so forth, right? Floyd spent so much time here. Here's what it's like. You get the, you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, Tyson goes down, goes up, goes down, and back up, head around. So, out of all of it, who do you think is better man at this point in time in life? Who do you think? I don't know. It's just like, you show me somebody, you show me their hardest times. You compare Mike Tyson times to Floyd Mayweather times, and in my opinion, I'll show you the better person. It's an opinion. It's an opinion. But you compare their times, and I'm not talking about my super careers. I'm just saying the person in general. You show me your low time, man, they come up, and I'll show you what kind of man you are. You know what I'm saying? Yep. I'll show you what kind of man you are. Everything ain't always up and up. The ones that climb out the mud, the ones that, you know, All odds stacked against them, back against the wall, and they find a way up out of it. How did you do that? What kind of mentality did you have when we all were against you? When everybody talked down, you know, how did you have the confidence to just continue to bet on yourself? A lot of us will gamble on other teams, gamble at the casino, play the lotto, but a lot of us won't gamble on ourselves. How did you win when everybody else was against you? When they said it couldn't be done. You show me them. And that's who I want to be around. You know what I'm saying? That's who I want to be around. You know, I don't want to be around the scammer, the storyteller that's going to sell me a narrative off of my vulnerability. I want to see that underdog. You know what I'm saying? I want to see the underdog. You know, and when you, like I say, if you compare Floyd Mayweather to Mike Tyson, and I'm not talking about their boxing record and the people they fought, I'm just talking about their life stories and the men that they are today. I can show you a better person. I'm for the underdog, man. You know what I'm saying? You can cheat. You can cheat. You can lie still to win. A win is a win, right? You can cheat, lie, steal, and still lose, because a loss is a loss, right? But sometimes it ain't about just that. You understand? Because a lot of us get from point A to point B, missing the entire point. Missing the entire point of how they got there and why. You know what I'm saying? You say you ain't cheap, you ain't trying. I'm not. I was expecting somebody to say it. But for real though, a win can be a win and a loss can be a loss. Losers can win and winners can lose. But does that make you a man? Does that make you a man? Don't get it twisted. Everything has a point. Everything has a reason for it. And a win is a win, a win is a win, and a loss is a loss. And what happens when those winners lose? And those losers win? What happens when a winner loses? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What happens when a winner loses? See, winners, they'll go back to the drawing board. A winner will sit up there and lose again. And again. And again. And still be a winner because they got a direction and they understand it's a method to it. You show me your greatest loss, and I'll tell you what kind of man you are. Now, a loser can win. A loser can win. That might be the only way he ever get. He might still be trying to live off of them high school years all the way into his 60s. You know what I'm saying? You understand? See, it's a difference between a winner and a loser. than just winning and losing. It's a mind mentality. It's a mindset. It's a whole deal. It's a whole deal. You understand? What happens when winner loses and the loser wins? Huh? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, those are the things because we get in these bragging contests and all of this other stuff. And you'll notice how losers will try to win the conversation. You want to win the conversation. You want to win the narrative. When we start focusing on ourselves, it's a game of inches. It's a marathon. Yeah. Salute to the work, man. Salute to the work. Yeah. You know, and that's what it is, man. Like, imagine you winning a conversation, but losing the day. You know, focusing on you, the progress. You just won this conversation. You got that. But how much energy did it take? How much energy did it take? How much fruitless conversation do we get into that don't benefit anything we got going on? And I know it seems like I'm all over the place, but all of this stuff goes to the center of where we spend our time setting our goals and jumping into these meaningless competitions that take years off of your life. You call it a moment, but it's taking years off of your life. Taking years off of your life. You know? You know? And imagine you bust your chops to get your weight up and whatever, only to try to brag and show, I don't know, the community and friends or whatever, and everybody frowning and start hating on you. Was looking for, what were you looking for? You were looking for acceptance. You were looking for recognition. You were looking at them to look at you a certain type of way. Oh, they looking at you a certain type of way. You know, you get into these things for the pissing contest. Yeah, you know, and see, yeah, we get into this pissing contest of trying to do whatever, you know, and a lot of those take years off of your life. How many competitions and fruitless conversation? It's like this dude right here. Imagine being entertained with wasting energy. You know what I'm saying? But how many of these competitions, how many of these you trying to prove your point in a conversation that leads somewhere positive? You know what I'm saying? Leads somewhere positive. We don't realize that we can be part of our own downfall. We don't realize that we have everything we need within ourselves. And if I can keep you in the mix, if I can keep you not focused on yourself, focus on everything else. Matter of fact, let's have a pissing contest. You be focused on you, you focused on me. You focus on trying to outdo me. I see it all the time, man. It's the reason why certain cultures, certain man, it's a reason why we'll never be on a peaceful level as far as religions and politics and all this other stuff. So you know, just is what it is, man. Now I'm not getting into none of that, but I am just saying, man, when we start focusing on ourselves, a lot of things change. A lot of things change. You know, I was speaking about me having that battle with music, rap music, you know, because overall, man, like it's raising, and I could go through the list of how every level of my life, certain artists, certain vibes painted the scene. You know what I'm saying? But if you think about it, as I get older, and it started with the generational gap of the music today versus yesterday, my time and everything. And, you know, once you start, you know, having a distaste in the music, sincerely, a lot of things start popping out. You start noticing a lot of things, you know. You can't name me a positive female rapper that is relevant right now. Hey, I appreciate it. But it just man, I'm taking my time. And as long as you take your time, man, it just and you do it consistently, man. This stuff it'll be a walk in the park. But it's just consistency in the matter, man. Anything I do, you can do. And I know you can do it. I know you can. I know you can do it, Steve. But you can't name a female rapper that is a positive female rapper that's spotlighted with the machine behind her today. The storytelling, the narrative being pushed. You know, the number one genre, whatever time it is, when it was classic rock, it was this, when it was country, you know, whatever the number one genre is, that is the commercials of the day. That's where they slide in everything. You know, advertising this, advertising that. You know, and what are the female rappers promoting? You know what I'm saying? What are the finances being taught from both sides? From both sides. You know what I'm saying? Women rappers want the trick and they want something for nothing. And discard, that's the narrative being pushed. You know, meanwhile, they expect the men to have everything real so they can steal and take. And the men, what's narrative being pushed? You know, with a lot of them, everything has to do with some form of violence. Some form of violence. some form of lust, having something for nothing on the back end. Same way. Same way. You know what I'm saying? Taking your girl, lust. I can have any girl, but I want your girl. I'm gonna take your girl. You know what I'm saying? The downplay of women. Don't get it twisted. You have this and that, and the each is long. But it overall is the narrative being pushed. The women on the back end, the downplay of men. The downplay of men. You know what I'm saying? Violence, all of that. Now, if we think about it from a commercial standpoint, it's a commercial standpoint. Like I say, the number one genre, it's the number one leading sponsorship of, get sponsored by all the companies to push their commercials. If this is the narrative being pushed, and we listen to this on a regular basis, like I remember when I used to, back in the game, I used to live with, when I was living in Houston, MJT and A-Ball was down there in Houston at that time. And at this time, it was an album that they dropped called Coming Out Hard, right? The same time they dropped Coming Out Hard, NWA was about a year into their album release. Their famous album release. And at this time, you were allowed to cuss on the radio. There was no, at least in youth, I can speak to youth. You know, when they play the radio, whatever, they ain't take nothing out. So they will play that. And it went from them playing that album, you know what I'm saying, as far as the album being out in this radio play. Through the time frame of it having this radio play, they passed the law where you had to start putting explicit and all that stuff on there or whatnot. And it really started going to effect then. So they passed the law that you couldn't cuss on the radio. And at that time, it was a lot of conscious rappers and a lot of stuff like that that was relevant to the NWA and, all of that and whatnot. Now, the radio play changed. You wasn't getting all of that. You still had your songs like Poison and all of that, but it was still, you know what I'm saying? And all of that. But as time progressed, it started getting bad as far as what they were playing on the radio. Because it used to be Roots, all of that stuff. Now, it's for real. Robbing, stealing, killing, dealing, pimping, simping, all of that wrapped up into the radio play. This is your commercials for today. They telling you how to spend your money. They telling you how to spend your money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is. It is, John. It is. Classic. You know what I'm saying? Classic. But they telling us how to spend our money. That's a commercial play. They telling us what kind of car to drive. They telling us what kind of guns to buy. They telling us how and where to use the guns. They telling us how to be vindictive. They telling us the women to choose. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But when you listen to a regular basis, it is a commercial. It's also play on your mind. Now, when you start talking about the generational gap, you start talking about those three things, you start talking about it playing over, over, over again. Then you start seeing these youngsters, school shootings, killing parents, killing siblings, doing crazy stuff that would have never happened in our generation, my generation, and prior to. And guns have always been around. And guns have always done what they've always done. But the mindset of today has changed. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to keep saying this. Next to God, or after God, the most powerful man on earth is storytelling. That's your news outlets. That's whatever the narrative is being pushed, the storytelling. And you know it's bad. You know it's bad when this stuff is played on the radio. You know what I'm saying? Think of all the top, Sexy Red. You know what I'm saying? Even the name Sexy Red. Like at one point in time, in the 50s, 60s, when the float couldn't fly. So with that being said, man, like, yeah, I'm on a battleground with this whole music thing, man. Cause it's a part of me. It's a part of me. But I listen to everything. I've always grew up listening to everything. But like, you know, it's a battleground. Hey, no problem, man. You have a blessed day too, man. Appreciate you kicking. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, I'm on that battleground with the rap music right now. Like, I don't even listen to music for real. Listen to some old school 80s and all that right now, man. You know, it just, when you start looking at the generation of the day and the moves that they making, and I used to have a thing where no matter my age, I'm always trying to listen to what the youngsters listen to, not because I'm trying to be into what they into, because as you get older, you start getting further and further away from the current generation. And all you gotta do is listen to the music. That's what I'm saying. It's sad when I see these kids, I see it, I've heard it. I'm talking about in my own presence. He is talking about drugs that they heard in a song. And they don't know they talking about drugs. But it sounds cool. So that's what I'm saying is, you're not gonna get that from rock and roll like that. You're not gonna get that from classic rock, all this other stuff. And I'm not downplaying rap, part of me. But how many youngsters you know that learned what a drug was, what a drug did from the music they was jamming? How many of us, or how many, hey, you too, man, take it easy, bro. How many fuck, you know what I'm saying? Not even from the streets, not even from the around, from the music. The music. And it's a youngster's game. It's a youngster's game. I can't hang with you, youngsters. I can't hang with the youngsters. It's a youngster's game, man. Time is coming down. But, you know, it's funny how you can have a lot of clarity from outside of the box. You probably could, I know for a fact, you couldn't tell me nothing back then. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't tell me nothing back then. So I understand to a certain extent. But you look at this, if you pay attention to it, man, if you consistently fill in your mind with that, it starts to bleed into your soul. It starts to pick and choose your direction. It starts to narrate your life. How many folks? I know some dummies right now that's locked up behind Future. Don't even know them, just damn as you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Deanna, what's happening, bro? A little salute, my G. You know what I'm saying? True story. Like, if you consistently feed yourself violence and negativity and hate. It's a seed. You plant that seed. Then you walk around angry for what? For what? Why? You know what I'm saying? Life is already hard enough. The challenge of the day is already hard enough. It's like we sit around twisting our fingers like, I got it hard enough. How can I add more? How can I add more stress onto my plate today? A lot of time being wasted out there. A lot of time out there being wasted. There's a lot of people out there wake up with hate on their mind. There's a lot of people, and the ones that had a hate on their mind, the ones that just wanna got this, always got something slick to say, always got a rebuttal and all of that. They behind. They follow behind. They follow behind. You know what I'm saying? And like, all you gotta do is focus on yourself, man. And when we get caught up into these small little things, they start to add up, man. They start to add up. You start getting in the 50 context with somebody else. The music you listen to is negative. You know what I'm saying? You got to feed yourself. These things positive. Everything, the balance is off. It's a saying, what you drink don't make me piss. What you eat don't make me shit. But if you need, check this out. Hey, but if you feeding yourself all the things, say, man, I listened to the Jive Turkey the other day, man. The little Dow Lisa D. That's my own. I mean, I don't know him personally, but that's the home. You know what I'm saying? I do not know him. But anyway, he said his friend asked him, hey man, how do you deal with depression? But man, look, you really want to know how I deal with depression? He said, I deal with depression like this. I just don't deal with it by myself. I go out there and I spread the love. I go out there and spread the light. Yeah. Nah, man, but like, that's funny. It's funny, but like at the same time, like, man, look, misery loves company. Misery loves company. You understand? So we got to take these into consideration. I would rather be on an island by myself. If I know that I'm working on myself and I can get back to the mainland versus me trying to, you know what I'm saying, hang with the crowd, you know, do this or take it out on somebody else, whatnot. Man, but I ain't know I'd be running my damn mouth this long, man. We coming up on an hour and a half of these babies. And it's a rest day, I guess you could say. Whenever I just come out, unless I'm doing like, unless I'm really going hard, like doing a little bit of more harder variation. It's pretty much a rest day. Going through the motions. I'm not gonna lie. This mainly just burns of calories, and of course, you're gonna get a little fat burning and some muscle building along with it. But in that order, not consider the rest of it. So it's just calorie burning, fat burning, and a little bit of muscle building or muscle endurance. Excuse me. Yeah. Man, anything I do, y'all can do as far as this workout or doing some similar variations. Everything is just do it at your pace. And don't look at it like you have to keep up or outdo me. As long as you can do better than what you did yesterday for yourself, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. But if you try to measure yourself up to me, I might limit. I might limit you. I might limit your growth. True story. You know. But salute to the word. Salute to the pre-mortar PT warriors. But nah, I'm gonna way past my time. I was supposed to be out the shower by now, man. Yeah, I was supposed to be out the shower by now, but I got nothing but love for y'all, man. Running my mouth again. Yeah, man. I gotta get out here and catch this damn rabbit, man, messing up my yard. God damn, man. But anyway, man, uh, yeah, I'm gonna link up, Dion. We're gonna link up some way. Yeah, we're gonna make it happen, bro. But hey, much love to y'all PT warriors, man. Much love to everybody in the struggle. You know, if nobody gonna tell you that, you know, they love you, I love y'all, man. I love y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? It's rough out there. I know. You know what I'm saying? But this is different. We show up, we go through the motion, whatever your motion is, man. If it's walking, you walking. If it's, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, if it's just jumping jacks, whatever, we gonna get it in. You know, the name of the game is marathon. It's gonna be a marathon, man. It's a game of inches. We're not trying to uh peak out like and you know what I'm saying, leaps and bounds and stuff like that overnight. No, man, we're just trying to be healthy for the long haul, whatever that is. And the main three things that you need to focus on moving forward is your balance, your lower back, and your grip. Those things are very important as you get older, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you too, little Jay. Yes, sir. Those things are too very important as you get older. Your balance, your lower back, and your grip. As long as you got those, you should be all right. You know. But that's a whole nother story for another day. Um, Today is Thursday. Uh, you know, the week is almost done. You know, we almost done with another week. Weeks be flying by. If you're not taking, if it's not a game of inches, then what progress are we making? Are we declining? Are we falling back, man? You know, it's so much easier to move up in inches than it is to take, you know, big, huge, gigantic steps. Takes too much energy, a lot of effort. And then you got to think about the recovery. Got to think about the recovery. So, man, take your time. We conquered the morning. Now we're gonna win the day. Now we got to win the day. You know, if you didn't make it this morning, you didn't, you know, do what you were supposed to do. Whatever it is, man, you still got the day. The day's still here, man. You still got time. Let's get this grind on. But hey, man, I wish y'all the best. Don't let anybody knock you off your square. If you don't have if you don't have the goals written down or a vision board or whatever the case may be, man, do that. Try it. Try it out. Even if you fail, and come up short, man, swing with it with everything you got and miss. Man, swing with it with everything you got in this and continue to write these down, man. It's big. Write your goals down. You know, check your progress on a regular basis, man. You know, notice I'm not saying anything about me or you beat somebody else or out whatever. Man, this is us versus us, man. Until the next time, you know, sleep with the giants, wake with the monsters, and eat with the lions. You want to master your faith, captain your soul, captain your faith, and master your soul, man. You know. But other than that, Man, much love, and we out. Peace.